Death is your only family. Death and I. Best get accustomed to the both of us.
Well, Hades is tons of fun right from the start, and it may be because the game from developer Supergiant Games has been in early access for a while now, or perhaps the influence of Greek mythology and the slick and sexy feel to the game. Hades has fast become a must-play game of 2020, and if you've been on the fence about it, then I thoroughly recommend you get down immediately off that fence and download it on the platform of your choice. First of all, Hades is a beautiful game. Before we get into the smooth gameplay with the excellent writing, I'm first struck by the gorgeous veneer on this one. Played from a third-person, isometric perspective, you control Zagreus, making his way through Hades and conversing with the ancient Greek gods like Zeus, Aphrodite and Athena. The environments they're detailed, packed with danger and beauty. The puddles shimmer and the jewels dotted around the place shine as you battle across the marble floor with the blood-splattered walls. Hades is a roguelike brawler pitting you literally against runs through hell, and as you make your way through the series of levels, you'll earn power-ups that aid your run each time. Ancient gods will pop up out of the blue and all seem to admire and sympathise with you having to spend your time down there in Hades, while they're living it up and partying up above. The objective of the game is to get through a run in one piece, but you're going to have your wits and your skills about you, because this one isn't easy. One false move and you're toast. Roguelikes, they're often about mastery, and as you make your way through runs, you'll get better with practice and repetition. The game reminds me a lot of Dead Cells, not in the way the game looks, as that is a 2D platformer, but in the way the game feels. It just feels so good to hit, smash and dodge in this game. It makes you want to go again and just do one more run, even if it's 11:45 PM. Supergiant Games has honed and crafted a game that just feels good to play, and layered on narrative elements that kept me coming back time and time again. As with many great feeling games, the controls are simple to pick up but take time to master. There's an attack, a dash, a special and a cast move in your toolbox, and together with these fairly simple controls, you have a range of weapons that unlock over time. Zagreus starts out with a deceptively simple sword, and over time, as you collect keys, you can unlock a spear, a shield and a bow and arrow. And at first, I thought, how can a shield compare with a spear? But then you try the shield and man, you fall in love with it. The sword is fairly straightforward and you can run in there and whack things and then run away. Bow and arrow does exactly what you think it does, gives you a good amount of range, and also on the special move front, a rapid fire multi-arrow move, which is going to help you out if you get surrounded. The spear has good range but can also be thrown, and it comes back on command similar to a boomerang. And the shield is a kind of hybrid melee and range weapon which just has to be experienced. Believe me, unlock the shield as fast as you can, it's amazing. There's a range of enemies in the game too to use your arsenal of weapons on. There's ghouls that teleport in and shoot at you from range, and huge melee enemies that slide towards you with little notice. The enemies attack from a variety of directions and means, so you have to keep an eye on every angle, otherwise there's going to be trouble. There's snakes, there's witches, there's all kind of nasties ready to kill you in an instant. Hades is a procedurally generated game, so it's infinitely different each time you play. Hell itself is reconfigured each time you try and escape, meaning there's no particular route to learn or how to get out of hell, but it's more about learning the attack patterns of the enemies and learning how to use the skills you pick up along the way. As each run goes by, you get stronger and stronger, and as you get further through the levels it gets more difficult. One false move and you'll lose it all. It's not so bad losing everything though, as you'll go back to the lavish house of Hades. Hades, your constantly disappointed father, has got the hump, and it seems like he's locked to his desk doing paperwork. Nyx and Dusa, the severed head of the famed Medusa, are hanging out there too. And the more runs you do, the more of the area opens up and narrative moments happen, keeping you engaged and helping soften the blow of that last failed run. In the House of Hades, you'll get crucial story material, but you'll also get to purchase items and upgrades, not only for you, but for the house itself, helping you out in future runs. There's also a practice room where you can test out the weapons and unlock new ones with Skelly, your fragile training partner, always willing to take a beating for the team. So once you've kitted yourself out in the House of Hades, it's then time for another run, which is going to be much different from the last. Sometimes you have an amazing run with a spear, and then a very quick beating which will turn you onto another weapon. It's well worth trying out the weapons, and you'll have good and bad runs with them all. There's a few random factors in each run, for example the gods and the prizes you select once you've cleared out a room. When you first start a run, a random god will welcome you and upgrade your abilities. Maybe you're going to get the power of Zeus and additional lightning strikes on special attacks, or perhaps Poseidon will grant you his powers. Each run is different and the combinations will be different too, making you more and more powerful as your runs go on. The other random factor are the items that you choose at the end of rooms, and once you finish a room you'll have a choice: do you go left or do you go right, and which prize do you want? These items, combined with the power of the gods, makes Hades infinitely replayable and very, very fun. Combined with the way the game feels, Supergiant Games have hit upon something really, really special. So putting all that aside, then there is the narrative. As you make your way through levels, new narrative arcs open up. Now, I've heard of players going through hundreds of runs and not seeing the same story twice, which seems incredible, and the sheer amount of narrative in this game is staggering. It's all voice acted too, with charm, wit and humour. As well as the well acted voice lines and the thousands of lines of dialogue, there's an underlying sexiness to the game too, through the artwork, the interactions and the feel. It's a polished package that drips and oozes quality, and one that you simply have to give a go. Supergiant Games has a reputation of excellence from Bastion, Transistor and Pyre, and Hades seems to have taken that polish and quality to a new level. Perhaps it's the mixture of Greek mythology and the many months of early access, I don't know, but I remember sitting in a classroom and being fascinated by ancient Greece as a child, studying the myths and the stories of minotaurs and the river Styx. Later on in life I made my way to the Greek islands many times, and I've been up close and personal with the ancient ruins, and this game reminds me of those experiences. Hades is a polished package that has a great feel, fast action, wonderful dialogue and story. And it's also available on Nintendo Switch, so if you happen to be on a train, then you can play it at your own convenience. Hades will no doubt be in the conversation when it comes to Game of the Year 2020. Whether it has the lasting power to beat games like The Last of Us Part 2, Fall Guys or The Ghost of Tsushima, well, that is a conversation for another time, but Hades is a fantastic game that can be either played for hours or picked up and put down within a matter of about 30 minutes.